it is such a treat today to get the chance to talk with David from the band Remedy Drive. David, how are you doing today?
Doing well. It's good to be. It's been too long since we've been on RadioU, so it's good to talk to you this morning.
It's been a while, but a lot of exciting stuff going on with your new album that's out that we'll talk about here, and of course, your organization Exodus Road. First of all, David, you're talking to us from sunny. Where is it? Where it's all sunny and nice like that?
Nashville, Tennessee. This is my east-facing window.
It looks
Drop
amazing.
The girls off at school. Yeah, thank
you. So we've got the album we'll get to in a second. We're talking about the Exodus Road too. But David, I know there's more to you than that. So tell me, what else have you had going on in your life that's not music and your organization related?
I mean, the biggest thing is my kids and my wife. This last year's been amazing. Was my son's last year in the house and getting him off to college a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
It's something else. It's not for the faint of heart, you know. Having so much wonderful and special time with the kid here, and then kind of letting him go and hoping that, you know, trusting and believing that he's going to go out and do great things. It's just this very difficult thing to put into words, so that's why I wrote a whole album about it.
Wow. Did you guys do anything special? Like, I know, at least for me and my family, when it was our graduating summer, we got to, the high school senior got to pick all of the vacation stuff that we did pretty much. Did you do anything special to commemorate the final year at home?
The summer was not as, we did a little bit of domestic travel, but what was cool is I invited Jack to a Germany tour we had. It was 2 weeks in Germany. He came for the back half of that, flew by himself across the Atlantic, and I met him in Hamburg. And that was pretty special, getting to spend a week with him in another culture.
That does sound amazing. I think I saw some of the pictures from your trip up on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, and it looked like an amazing time.
It was, and you go from having a real like rock star rock and roll concert to going and playing in front of like 50 people in a town of 600 in this small room with the upright piano that I took all the stuff off so you could see the hammers and strings in there. It was a pre-World War I piano.
Oh my God.
And that sort of thing, man, it was special. Just in the shadow of a mountain with a castle on it, playing an acoustic concert, like, it's awesome.
It doesn't sound like it gets much better than that. What is, I mean, I'm assuming you've been overseas a couple times now. What's the biggest, going to Germany, what's like the biggest culture shock?
Oh man, there's a politeness, like Germany in particular, there's a politeness and a real humility that I was really connected with me, especially there, and an eagerness to talk about cultural issues and talk about historical issues. You know, you think you'd be walking on eggshells, but there's a real eagerness of people in Germany in particular to grapple with some of their particular history and compared to our history. The food, like everybody says that the food's different. There's just stuff that is allowed in our food here, like red dyes and yellow dyes and different, and it's just not the same over there. Like stuff, you just feel different after eating a lot over there. Like they're obsessive with breakfast. Like, it's so fun when you go to Germany. If you ever like it is a big thing. Even if it's just like there's the three guys in the band and then two other guys on tour, and the concert promoter that put the tour together, he could lay out this big spread every morning, with all sorts of cheeses, all sorts of granolas and yogurts and breads and bagels. That was kind of a fun culture shock.
Jeez, you are. I mean, I can't afford a trip to Germany right now, but you're really selling it for me. I'm gonna have to start saving.
Jack and I went all the way up the tower in Cologne. I mean, you had to walk spirals, and when we were almost to the top, all the phones in the building went off, and and this is after getting frisked by security downstairs, and the whole city was like making an alarm sound. It was just like kind of how we test tornado sirens here, but everything was in German. So I couldn't tell if something something dangerous
Yeah,
happening
you
right
didn't know
now,
if it
or
was
is this
just a
just a
test
test?
or if it was real.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. David, so you've got all that going on. Let's actually talk about, you said that the new album is about like letting your son, go out into the world. Is that what I'm getting here?
Yeah, there's a lot of that came into play on the album because I'm writing it right here where I'm sitting and recording it a year ago, starting to. For the first time, I took 5 consecutive months off touring so I could see all the kids' varsity football games. And that time period just started to prepare me for being able to let go of having them here. But also other, like this song "Scars" is about my daughters and my son, and just the, parenting. If you do it right, you're going to get scars, and you're gonna love through all that heartache.
I love that.
Yeah.
With that said, what do you hope then the people hearing the new music for the first time, what do you hope they take away from it?
Um, my daughter Ava, she's 16 now. She said something kind of interesting. She's like, "Dad, it's sad that when you started off, you only wrote like religious songs, and then you wrote 3 albums that were all about human trafficking. Like, it's nice that you can just write an album that's just music," which I thought was. Um, And so that even though I almost don't want to say this song was for Jack, because I want that song to be for anybody that is having that emotional thing of letting someone go or moving to another chapter of their life. And the same with Scars to prove it. Like, there's so many different ways that I hope that people will take away hope, and even to be seen, or like for me, great art helps me just have this peace and this and it opens up a lot of empty spaces, and I just hope that it does what a good song's supposed to do, and just helps somebody get through their drive, get through their day.
Of
It's a
course.
really hopeful, positive album.
Yes, I love that. We've been playing Steady a lot here on Radio U, and I get that from that one for
Nice.
sure. You mentioned too that you wrote several albums about human trafficking. Many people probably don't know that you have an organization you're involved with called Exodus Road that does a
Yeah.
ton. And I know we're talking like actual boots on the ground, real work to help people with human trafficking. But fill people in. What does Exodus Road do, and how can they also support it themselves?
So you guys played our song "Commodity" in 2014, and that was the song we wrote before I ended up merging the band with a counter human trafficking organization called the Exodus Road. And so we've tried to raise funds and awareness for the work. And the work is this: we spy on criminal networks around the world that are selling teenagers and children and sometimes families into slavery. And sometimes it's labor trafficking, but most what we're focusing on is sex trafficking, the kind of trafficking that happens at a red light district or hotels. And I have teams around the world with the Exodus Road that devote their time, devote their lives to spying on these criminal networks, to gather the kind of intelligence that we need so that we can partner with authorities to make raids against these establishments these raids have so far resulted in the arrest of over 1,300 human traffickers and in the freedom that we've got to contribute to of 2,600 survivors of sex trafficking.
Wow.
It's just been this thing that's just, I can't believe that our stories merged this way, and then our path of the Exodus Road and Remedy Drive aligned. It just all happened. And Radio U has been a big part of that for us in helping us spread the word, because the way our goal is that ordinary people, and it's happening all around that, like we were just played in Columbus at a little house party of people that help fund the record. And this family sends a lot of funds towards the Exodus Road, and those funds go towards commissioning somebody to sit down in a dark place and get the kind of evidence they need to really have convincing story that's going to convict traffickers and keep that trafficker from hurting somebody else. So I'm really grateful that you guys have been part of it over the years.
Yeah, no, it's something we're happy to be a part of, and it's amazing work that you're doing. And you think like it's one of those old cliches of you can make a difference in just one life, it's worth it. But changed so many, saved so many lives by what the Exodus Road is doing. So we appreciate it, and it is really amazing. You're it feels like you're a real life superhero, like the closest thing we're gonna get.
Well, and that's one of the things that I've tried to put into a lot of lyric is that, man, I'm just a kid from Nebraska. I wrote some songs, and then I got to join these teams and learn how to use the technology and learn how to spy on criminal networks. But that's the thing; it's just this is just a bunch of brave human beings that I get to partner with. And I can't show you their faces, I can't tell you their names, but I get to sing songs about them that I think that their work and our combined work is going to echo throughout all eternity. The work of ordinary human beings that have decided that they can only do a little bit. So if it's heroic, it's only heroic in the way that a kid brought his lunch to Jesus Christ and said, "Hey, can you use my lunch?" And the creator of everything lifts it up, blesses it, and you see that be multiplied. And that's what I've got to witness firsthand.
Absolutely. So, okay. I guess people may want to know, how can they support? Where can they get involved with the Exodus Road to help out?
At Remedy Drive, our band name, .com/action. There's a link if you wanted to commission an investigator to go on your behalf, that you can join this group of hundreds of Remedy Drive fans and some RadioU listeners, I'm sure, already contributing. But then there's other ways on that link, remedydrive.com/action, of ways that people have taken it into their own hands, like a woman that ran a 5K in stiletto high heels, and she raises awareness. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Her feet were bleeding. She was carried across the finish line, but she raised all this awareness and all these funds. And then recently, up a little bit to the east of you, near in Massachusetts, a girl, she's 16 when I met her at a festival a couple years ago, and she's already put in over 1,000 hours and raised thousands of dollars with public speaking engagements. Won a medal from the Girl Scouts, their gold tier medal for volunteer and activism.
That is impressive. It's actually, I can't say it enough. It's amazing what you do. So people should definitely check out the Exodus Road, do what you can to get involved. It's something that it is a way where any individual can actually really make a difference. And of course, check out the new album from Remedy Drive 2, Scars to Prove It. We've been loving it here at Radio U.
While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.